Welcome to our channel. Today we're about to witness an emotional moment as Prince William shares the final words Princess Diana entrusted to him, causing King Charles to break down in tears. This is a surprising and heartfelt story that reveals the deep emotions and bonds the royal family has kept hidden for years. Don't miss it. Join us to experience the profound love and connection within the royal family. Why was the car speeding at such a dangerous rate? Did the driver really lose control, or was there pressure from another source? And most importantly, who was following Diana that night, preventing her from finding a final moment of peace? These questions remain unanswered, and it's this prolonged silence that has led many to believe there's a greater truth being hidden behind the incident. If you find this story interesting, drop a comment with the number 1. If not, comment 0. Don't forget to share the video and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more exciting videos. Now let's dive into the story together. For years, conspiracy theories have become an inseparable part of any conversation about Diana. Many believe that her death was not merely an accident, but the result of a carefully planned plot. They think that because Diana broke the boundaries of a traditional royal family member, daring to love, speak her mind, and live like an ordinary person, she became a threat to those forces determined to keep everything within strict control. But until now, no one involved has ever spoken out publicly. There has never been an official confession until Diana's own son, Prince William, shocked the world. In a deeply emotional moment, he broke down in tears as he openly shared his belief about who was behind his mother's death. It was not just the words of a deeply hurt son, but the voice from the heart of a living witness who grew up in the shadow of loss and silence. That confession struck like an earthquake, shaking the faith of millions. Everything that had been staged or officially declared suddenly faded in comparison to the heartfelt emotions of a son desperate for the truth. The entire royal family was shaken by what William revealed. This was not just a family matter. It was a truth that could change an entire generation's perception of what really happened behind the palace's grand doors. Diana was always someone special in the eyes of the public, not just because of her glamorous appearance or royal status, but because she brought a sense of warmth and kindness that few in the monarchy could show. She never shied away from sensitive issues, nor was she afraid to face the pain of others. From hospitals to orphanages, from HIV/AIDS centers to forgotten, impoverished lands, she showed up with her whole heart, not for image, but to listen and truly connect with every human life she encountered. People loved her not for her title, but for her compassion. Her gentle smile, empathetic eyes, the way she would bend down to hold the hand of an anonymous patient, all created the image of a people's princess, just as the late Prime Minister Tony Blair once called her. To the public, she was not just a symbol, but the embodiment of hope and kindness in a world full of injustice. Yet behind that strong exterior was a lonely woman. Her marriage to Prince Charles, once seen as a modern fairy tale, ultimately became a series of days filled with tears and pain. Diana faced coldness, betrayal, and the strict rules of the royal family that made her feel increasingly isolated. Many nights she cried alone, and often she shared feelings of being sidelined in her own life. She was a mother above all else, always giving her whole heart to her 2 sons. William and Harry were the reason she kept living and fighting. She taught them how to love and how to see the world through their hearts, not from the throne. Her maternal love was so deep that even after her passing, her influence remained strong in their lives and actions to this day. That's why William's tearful confession is not just a revelation of the truth, but also a final act to protect the memory of their mother, a woman who loved him unconditionally but did not receive the protection she deserved when she needed it most. Though Diana's life was filled with many hardships, no matter the circumstances, she always placed her two sons, William and Harry, at the center of her world. With unconditional love and a deep motherly instinct, she did everything she could to protect and raise them in her own way, a way unlike any royal tradition before. Diana believed that to become good people, William and Harry needed to understand the real world, the world of ordinary people. She didn't want her sons to grow up as golden cages on legs detached from reality and sheltered by the cold traditions of royalty. Instead of letting their lives be confined by protocol, she created simple yet meaningful memories, taking them to fast food restaurants like any other kids, holding their hands while walking in public parks, and organizing unplanned trips outside of official royal schedules. Those seemingly small acts became sacred pieces of William and Harry's memories, moments where they lived like any other ordinary children, times when their mother truly listened and laughed with them without being bound by protocol or prying eyes. For the two princes, these were indelible proofs of maternal love, a love no title could ever replace. Diana Frances Spencer was born on July 1, 1961, near Sandringham, England. She came from an aristocratic family as the daughter of Edward John Spencer, the 8th Earl Spencer, and Frances Ruth Burke Roche, later known as Lady Frances Shand Kidd. When her father officially succeeded to the title of Earl Spencer in 1975, Diana became Lady Diana Spencer. Her family included 4 children, 2 older sisters, Jane Fellows and Sarah McCorquodale, and a younger brother, Charles Spencer, who later became the 9th Earl Spencer. Another brother, John, tragically passed away shortly after birth, just 1 year before Diana was born, leaving a silent void filled with sorrow in the family. Both of Diana's grandmothers, Cynthia Spencer and Ruth Roche, served as ladies-in-waiting in the royal household, directly attending Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Because of this, although she was not born in a palace, Diana grew up surrounded by aristocratic influence and the ever-present shadow of royalty. However, her childhood was far from the peaceful life often imagined of aristocracy. Her parents' marriage was fraught with deep conflicts, partly due to the pressure to have a son to inherit the title. Before her younger brother Charles was born, her mother Frances endured immense pressure from her in-laws, an element that contributed to the marriage's breakdown. Ultimately, Diana's parents divorced when she was still very young. After the divorce, Diana's father gained custody of all 4 children. He later remarried Reine, the Countess of Dartmouth, a woman Diana never truly got along with. The tense relationship between them lasted for many years and became one of the reasons Diana felt her childhood was unhappy. She described her upbringing as extremely unstable, emotionally empty and cold. Diana attended Riddlesworth Hall, a private school for girls, before transferring to West Heath School, where she continued her studies through her teenage years. Although she was not highly regarded for academic achievements, she always stood out for her kindness, sensitivity, and empathy. These qualities later became the foundation for the special role she would play in the public eye, a princess who was approachable, sincere, and possessed a rare, compassionate heart. Though a rather shy girl, Diana always had a special love for music and dance places where she found joy and freedom. After completing her studies at the Alpine Institute in Switzerland, she moved to London, starting work as a nanny and later becoming an assistant at a kindergarten. Her passion for children was evident both in her work and in her lifestyle. Diana first met Prince Charles when he was dating her sister. But it wasn't until 1980 that they truly grew closer and began a relationship that attracted huge media attention. Despite their 13-year age difference, they got engaged just a few months later. Charles proposed with a stunning sapphire ring inspired by Queen Victoria's jewelry. This proposal marked the beginning of one of the century's biggest events, their royal wedding on July 29, 1981 at St. Paul's Cathedral, watched by over 1 billion people worldwide. Diana's wedding dress, adorned with thousands of pearls and a 25-foot-long veil, became an iconic symbol of the era. After the wedding, Diana officially became the Princess of Wales and stepped into the royal life full of pressure. However, instead of just following protocol, she carved out her own role, becoming a voice for the vulnerable. Diana became famous for her compassion and charitable work, especially with the homeless, HIV/AIDS patients and disadvantaged children. She never hesitated to get close to them, touching their lives with genuine compassion, breaking through barriers that the royal family had traditionally maintained. Her life was a blend of fame and sacrifice, of glamour and silent pain. Above all, she is remembered as a woman with a kind heart, always choosing love despite royal conventions. Everyone who knew Princess Diana, whether through images, media, or stories, held a deep admiration for her. Her gentle beauty, grace, and compassionate heart made her an icon beyond any royal boundaries. Yet on one fateful night, everything changed forever. On the night of August 31, 1997, the world was shocked by the news that Princess Diana, a beloved woman known for her compassion and tireless charity work, had died in a tragic car accident in Paris. She was only 36 years old. The crash claimed the lives of Diana, her boyfriend Dodi Al-Fayed, and their driver, Henry Paul. According to official reports, Henry was driving under the influence of alcohol and speeding to escape the relentless pursuit of paparazzi chasing them. Dodi Al-Fayed was the son of billionaire Mohammed Al-Fayed. After Diana divorced Prince Charles, she and Dodi began a romantic relationship. They spent the summer together, enjoying time on a yacht along the French Riviera. But upon returning to Paris, their private life continued to be surrounded by paparazzi. That evening, they stayed at the Ritz Hotel owned by Dodi's family. After a late dinner, to avoid media attention, they left the hotel through a back exit, got into a black Mercedes, and departed into the night. Just minutes later, the car sped through the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, chased closely by flashing camera lights and the roar of pursuing photographers' engines. The car lost control and crashed violently into a concrete pillar inside the tunnel. Dodi and the driver died instantly. Diana was still alive when taken into the ambulance but did not survive. Her death was not only a heartbreaking loss, but also the beginning of countless questions, doubts, and conspiracy theories that have persisted for decades. Why were they being chased so relentlessly? Was Henry Paul really drunk? And was it just an accident, or was there something more behind it? Footage from the hotel's security cameras showed Henry Paul walking normally with no signs of intoxication, as the initial reports claimed. From there, public skepticism began to rise. Was this really just a traffic accident? Could Princess Diana's death be the result of a hidden truth, never revealed? The big question remains, why would an experienced man like Henry Paul, the security chief of a prestigious hotel, make such a risky decision? Why would he drive in a dangerous state, carrying one of the world's most famous and beloved women, just to escape a few photographers? For many, the simple answer is that it was an accident caused by reckless driving under the pressure of the media. But for independent investigators and conspiracy believers, they see a different picture, deeper, more complex, and more disturbing. One of the most controversial theories is that the accident was not a random event, but the result of a deliberately orchestrated conspiracy. Those who support this view believe that powerful forces did not want the relationship between Princess Diana and Dodi Al-Fayed to go any further. A relationship between a royal family member and a wealthy Middle Eastern Muslim, according to some, was unacceptable to the conservative British elite at the time. Dodi's father, Mohammed Al-Fayed, publicly accused the British royal family of interference, fearing that the monarchy's reputation and image would be damaged if Diana married someone outside the white Christian aristocracy. He claimed that his son and Diana were planning to marry and even suggested that she was pregnant. Although no concrete evidence has ever been found to support this, his statement sparked a strong wave of suspicion and doubt. Despite widespread suspicions, the official French investigation in 1999 and the subsequent British inquiry in 2008 both concluded that the accident was caused by drunk driving combined with excessive speed. However, conspiracy theorists argue that the investigation reports failed to clarify all the unclear aspects of the case details that led them to question the true transparency of the entire process. One of the unresolved mysteries is the presence of a white Fiat Uno. According to witnesses and physical evidence, this car is believed to have lightly collided with the Mercedes carrying Diana just before they entered the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. This Fiat was never found. The driver never came forward. Even more strangely, the white paint found on Diana's car, the most crucial evidence to trace the incident, mysteriously disappeared from police storage before the audit. The disappearance of this evidence has fueled public suspicion. If it was truly just a traffic accident, why was such a crucial detail not properly preserved? And if no one intended to cover anything up, why have so many related data vanished or become inaccessible? Moreover, another strange detail intensified the doubts. The security cameras at the tunnel entrance, which should have recorded the entire accident, stopped working exactly at the time of the incident. This technical failure was eerily coincidental. Conspiracy theorists call this the time blackout, the moment when the truth that should have been preserved completely disappeared. Suspicion deepened when Richard Tomlinson, a former MI6 agent, came forward. He claimed to have seen an internal document describing a plan to assassinate a high-profile figure by staging a car accident in a narrow tunnel. According to him, the description closely matched what happened at the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. While he did not directly confirm that this plan was carried out against Diana, his testimony sent chills and raised even more questions. However, official investigators dismissed Tomlinson's claims due to a lack of concrete physical evidence. They considered it mere speculation without legal basis. Yet for those who have always doubted the investigation's conclusions, the inability to uncover new evidence is itself a sign that something has been meticulously hidden. Diana was once the most closely watched woman on the planet, with every step of hers relentlessly pursued by the press and cameras. Yet in the most fateful moment, the moment that took her life, there was no footage, no sound, no concrete evidence, just a chilling silence in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. It is precisely this silence, along with a series of unclear details, that has made Princess Diana's death one of the most haunting mysteries of the 20th century. And even now, many years later, that question quietly remains in the hearts of millions: what truly happened that night? Diana was once the most closely watched woman on the planet, with every step of hers relentlessly pursued by the press and cameras. Yet in the most fateful moment, the moment that took her life, there was no footage, no sound, no concrete evidence. Just a chilling silence in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. It is precisely this silence, along with a series of unclear details, that has made Princess Diana's death one of the most haunting mysteries of the 20th century. And even now, many years later, that question quietly remains in the hearts of millions: what truly happened that night? Meanwhile, the coroner's office revealed that Diana's seatbelt was not fastened properly, a crucial factor contributing to her tragic death. This raises the question, how could a mother who always protected her children with all her heart be so careless? Some media analysts argue that blaming her for not wearing a seatbelt was merely an attempt to divert public attention away from the gaps and mistakes in the official investigation. The deeper we dig into the matter, the more complex and mysterious the web of interests surrounding Diana becomes. There are media corporations exploiting her image for profit, politicians trying to cover up scandals linked to the royal family, and even extremist groups opposing relationships between Muslims and Christians. All of these seem to form a secret curtain shrouding Diana's death. The first three witnesses at the accident scene, Dr. Frederick Mal's photographer Ronald Ratt and taxi driver George Barman, initially testified that there were hardly any paparazzi around the tunnel area, completely contradicting media reports. They even described the scene as empty and strange. However, later, two of them retracted their statements, making the story even more vague and confusing. More than 2 decades have passed, with 4 major investigations and thousands of pages of documents released, yet the official conclusion remains that it was a simple accident. However, every year, as millions of flowers are laid outside Kensington Palace on the anniversary, as Diana's unpublished diaries continue to capture public attention, and as Prince William and Prince Harry gradually express doubts about the integrity of the case files, the story behind the princess's death continues to smolder like a flame that refuses to be extinguished. Perhaps that is why every clue, no matter how small, has been relentlessly pursued, drawing endless attention from the public and the media. People don't just want to know who caused the Mercedes to speed out of control on that fateful night. They also want to uncover who silenced the compassionate heart of the people's princess. Because when Diana left us, the world lost not only a fashion icon and a symbol of compassion, but also a powerful voice, a resilient emblem in the fight against injustice and prejudice. And even now, her story remains an unsolved mystery, waiting for the day the truth will finally be revealed. Diana lost a hand that once reached out to AIDS patients at a time when the world was filled with prejudice and stigma. That loss, along with the unanswered questions, turned the accident into a deep scar in the memory of both England and the global community. Until the full truth is revealed, the story behind her death continues to haunt and inspire those seeking justice worldwide in their relentless journey to find answers. Many people are dissatisfied with the simple explanation that it was just an accident. Mohammed Al-Fayed, father of Dodi Al-Fayed, is one of the strongest proponents of conspiracy theories surrounding Diana's death. He claimed that Diana and Dodi were assassinated by British intelligence, possibly under the orders of Prince Philip, to prevent Diana from marrying a Muslim and having his children. Mohammed Al-Fayed also asserted that Diana was pregnant and that the couple planned to get engaged. Some believe that Henry Paul, the driver of the Mercedes, was an agent of British or French intelligence, and that his alleged intoxication was either exaggerated or staged. The absence of crucial CCTV footage related to the accident and the chaotic circumstances surrounding Diana's death has fueled widespread suspicion. Although there were 16 cameras installed in the tunnel where the crash occurred, none of them were operational at the time. A popular theory involves eyewitness testimonies describing a strange flash of light just before the accident. Some witnesses, like Francois Levestre and American tourist Brian Anderson, reported seeing a dazzling flash as Diana's car entered the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. Levestre stated that he saw a flash in the rearview mirror that could have disoriented the driver. However, inconsistencies in Levistra's testimony, along with his 1989 fraud conviction, have undermined his credibility. His wife also disputed his account, and no other witnesses mentioned seeing any such flash of light. A detailed reconstruction of the accident found no evidence of any spark or flash, concluding that the car lost control before entering the tunnel. Another theory revolves around Diana not wearing her seatbelt on the night of the accident, despite regularly doing so while driving. This raised suspicions of possible sabotage or interference. The 26-minute delay in transporting Diana to the hospital also sparked controversy, leading some to suspect intentional delays in the emergency response. Finally, in 2013, a former soldier of the British Royal Airborne Regiment SAS, known as Soldier N, claimed that the SAS was involved in orchestrating Diana's death. This statement emerged during the trial of another SAS member. In response to these concerns, the United Kingdom launched a separate investigation called Operation Paget to clarify the allegations and suspicions surrounding the death of the Princess of Wales. The investigation, initiated by the British police in 2004, about 7 years after the accident, aimed to thoroughly review all conspiracy theories that had emerged since Princess Diana's death in 1997. This inquiry carefully examined all relevant evidence, including a letter Diana had written the events leading up to the crash, as well as the actions of those present and involved in the incident. In 2006, Operation Paget released its official findings. The investigation concluded that there was no evidence supporting any conspiracy theories. Similar to the earlier French investigation, Operation Paget confirmed that the cause of the accident was the driver Henri Paul, who was driving under the influence of alcohol and at excessive speed. The investigation found no proof of an assassination plot against Princess Diana, and the crash was regarded as a tragic accident. Despite the official conclusion, many people remain unconvinced and continue to pursue conspiracy theories, particularly citing a letter Diana once wrote expressing her fear of a potential tragedy. Additionally, Diana's former butler, Paul Burrell, has contributed to the public's heightened interest in the princess's private life. Paul Burrell worked very closely with Diana since 1987 and was considered her most trusted confidant. Diana once called him her greatest support during difficult times. After Diana's passing, Burrell revealed many private stories and hidden aspects of her life, giving the public a deeper insight into the real Diana beyond the royal glamour. If you find this story interesting and want to learn more, don't forget to share the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any more exciting videos. Now let's continue the story together. Burrell's revelations shed light on the loneliness and isolation Diana experienced despite being one of the most famous people in the world. She often felt unable to fully trust those around her, which contributed to the eating disorders she struggled with throughout her life. Burrell also revealed details about the turbulent marriage between Diana and Prince Charles, showing that behind the globally watched wedding were private difficulties and challenges Diana had to face. These insights helped the public better understand the hardships the Princess of Wales endured in her life and marriage. Princess Diana was fully aware of Prince Charles's close relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, which caused her immense pain. In an interview, Diana candidly stated that there were 3 people in her marriage, referring to Charles, Camilla, and herself. Revelations from Paul Burrell, her close butler, have helped the public gain a deeper understanding of the heavy emotional impact this situation had on Diana. She went through profound periods of sadness and felt overwhelmed by the pressures and events surrounding her. However, Diana always maintained deep compassion and empathy for the less fortunate. She often helped quietly without media attention or fanfare because she truly wanted to make a difference in the lives of those in need. After divorcing Charles, Diana was determined to forge her own path and find her personal voice within the constraints of royal life. Although it wasn't easy, she remained steadfast in her commitment to do good and create a positive impact on the world. Paul Burrell admired Diana's resilience and often spoke about how she maintained her spirit even during the toughest times. Motherhood was a profoundly important part of Diana's life, something Burrell shared openly with the public. He talked about the boundless love she had for her two sons, William and Harry, as well as her efforts to shield them from the heavy pressures of royal life. Diana always wished for her children to have as normal a childhood as possible. Despite growing up under the public eye, Diana took her role as a mother very seriously. She always made an effort to spend quality time with her children, ensuring they were happy and could grow up normally. One touching story Paul Burrell shared was how Diana would secretly leave the palace to have private moments with William and Harry. Despite her busy schedule and constant media attention, she always prioritized her sons, often planning secret trips with Paul's help to create precious memories for them. After Princess Diana's death in 1997, Paul Burrell, her trusted butler, released a book titled A Royal Duty in 2003, in which he shared many personal and profound stories about Diana's life and the challenges she faced. The book quickly sparked controversy, with some people believing Paul should not have revealed Diana's private details, while others appreciated it for providing a more honest and deeper perspective on her life. Paul Burrell defended his decision to write the book, asserting that he wanted the world to better understand the real person behind Diana and the difficulties she faced. He also shared the deep sorrow and sense of loss he felt witnessing the passing of someone so close to him, while feeling a responsibility to protect Diana's memory so that the truth about her life would not be forgotten. His revelations helped the public realize that although Diana was a global icon, she was also a human being facing many personal struggles just like anyone else. However, Paul's decision to publicly share private stories sparked mixed reactions, especially from some members of the royal family, even leading to legal disputes over certain content in the book. Nevertheless, Paul maintained that he wrote the book with all the respect and love he had for Diana, hoping that her true story would be told honestly. Not everyone welcomed Paul's revelations. Some viewed them as an attempt to exploit a close relationship for personal gain. Among the public and media, the book drew significant attention, sparking many discussions about Princess Diana's private secrets. For many, Paul's accounts reinforced the belief that Diana's death held unresolved mysteries. He revealed that Diana had expressed fears for her own safety, which fueled suspicions about a possible conspiracy behind the accident. As a result, there have been numerous calls to reopen the investigation to clarify the truth. Some advocacy groups and members of the public began calling for a review of the evidence, hoping to uncover the full truth about the fateful night when Diana passed away. However, not everyone believed that the stories revealed by Paul Burrell could prove anything new. Some argued that the official investigation had already reached an accurate conclusion and questioned whether Paul's disclosures truly added any substantial insights. These people suspected that Paul might have exaggerated the closeness between himself and Diana, even fabricating dramatic details that were not true. This disagreement became a hot topic of debate among the public and media. Nevertheless, Paul's revelations had a significant impact because Diana has always been a deeply beloved public figure, and stories about her only heightened that attention. Paul's disclosure of many private details also caused considerable tension within the royal family, as the issues he exposed were things the monarchy preferred to keep secret. In particular, Diana's sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, were strongly affected by the public scrutiny and rumors surrounding their mother. Both were very young when they lost their mother and have spent many years coping with this loss. Despite the passage of time, public and media interest in Diana has never waned. In recent years, Prince Harry has openly shared his struggles, especially the profound impact of his mother's death. In his memoir, Spare, published on January 10, 2023, Harry recounts personal experiences, his complicated relationship with his family, and the events that led him and his wife, Meghan Markle, to step back from their royal duties and leave the United Kingdom. Spare offers an intimate insight into Harry's life, depicting feelings of isolation and not belonging within his own family, as well as the challenges he faced growing up in the royal spotlight. The book's title alludes to the concept of the heir and the spare, reflecting the sense of being undervalued and alienated that Harry once endured. The book touches on many profound topics, including Harry's childhood, the tremendous impact of Princess Diana's death, his experiences in the British military, and his complicated relationships with his brother Prince William and his father King Charles III. The memoir also addresses his father's later marriage to Queen Camilla, as well as Harry's own marriage to Meghan Markle, an American actress outside of royalty, which marked a turning point leading to increasing tensions within the royal family. Harry and Meghan's decision to step back from their roles as senior members of the royal family further complicated the situation. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex announced their intention to withdraw from royal duties. Spare was released amid great public and media anticipation, receiving mixed reactions. Some praised Harry's honesty and openness, while others felt he revealed too much of his private life. Despite the varied opinions, Spare made history as the best-selling non-fiction book of all time. In the summer of 2021, Harry shared that he wrote the memoir not as the prince he was born to be, but as the man he has become. In a statement, the Duke of Sussex said, "I wrote this book not as the prince I was born to be, but as the man I have become." He emphasized that his story includes ups and downs, mistakes, and valuable lessons, hoping to show that despite different backgrounds, we share more in common than we think, and even the wealthy face hardships. In January 2020, The Times reported that Harry reconsidered publishing the memoir after visiting his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, but ultimately decided to continue sharing his story with the world. However, if ambition overshadows purpose, public trust could waver, and for Camilla, her role may well be the most pivotal turning point. Will she bravely step into a role that promotes supporting values or seek to reclaim her former prominence? The monarchy stands at a crossroads: rebirth or breakdown. The next move could be a declaration of unity or the final spark of division in a rapidly changing world. Although the Queen had passed, her legacy continued to shape the monarchy's history and profoundly influence how people envisioned its future. This moment marked a turning point, inspiring renewed faith and optimism for the royal family's journey ahead. This emotion was also shared by their uncle Charles Spencer. Harry affirmed that he wanted to attend the funeral alongside William, believing that if their roles were reversed, his brother would do the same. For many years, Harry believed that his mother had faked her death to escape the paparazzi, a belief that William had also once shared. Harry criticized the official investigation into Diana's death and questioned why the paparazzi involved were never held accountable. Both Harry and William had considered issuing a joint statement calling for a reopening of the investigation, but were ultimately persuaded not to do so. During a visit to Paris in 2007, Harry asked the driver to take the same route through the tunnel where his mother died, driving at the same speed as that day. A decision he later regretted, as it only intensified his pain. In his search for comfort, Harry admitted that he turned to a woman who claimed to have psychic abilities to connect with his mother. He also candidly shared about his past drug use, revealing that he tried cocaine at age 17 and took magic mushrooms at a party in 2016, which led to hallucinations. Regarding his military service, Harry recounted his time serving in Afghanistan, where he completed missions that resulted in the deaths of 25 Taliban members. He admitted that during that time he did not see them as human beings but merely as pawns on a chessboard, and that killing them brought him neither satisfaction nor regret. Harry also shared about the tense relationship with his father and stepmother Camilla, Charles's wife. Initially, he and William agreed to accept Camilla into the family on the condition that Charles would not marry her. However, when his father decided to marry Camilla, Harry realized he was simply following the call of his heart. He accused Camilla of leaking private conversations to the press to boost her own image, and claimed that both Charles and Camilla publicly disclosed his drug use to garner sympathy and exploit their own reputations. Harry also said that William feels guilty for not speaking out about their father's relationship with Camilla, which caused his brother a lot of pain and confusion. He even accused Camilla of having a role in their mother's death, believing that she was the reason behind the breakdown of their parents' marriage. Despite these complex emotions, Harry acknowledged that his father found happiness after marrying Camilla and wished them both well. He even wondered if Camilla might be less dangerous if she were more accepted. Harry also revealed that his role as best man at William's 2011 wedding wasn't quite what everyone imagined. When James Mee and Thomas Van Strobenzee gave speeches at the reception, Harry felt it was the right decision because he was worried he might say something inappropriate. Additionally, Harry shared candid moments about his relationship with Meghan Markle. On their first date, he was on a racing boat with no restroom and ended up wetting his pants. He also admitted regretting searching for intimate scenes of Meghan in tight outfits, saying now he wishes he hadn't done that. During an argument, Harry got very angry when Meghan said she wouldn't forgive such behavior and suggested he should seek therapy. Harry believes his mother played a part in bringing Meghan into his life. He recounts 2 signs that told him Meghan was pregnant first when she sang to a group of seals, and he was convinced they sang back. And second, when Meghan brought 2 pregnancy tests and placed them on his bedside table. When they both confirmed the good news, Harry expressed gratitude, hoping his mother had helped bring it about. The couple announced the pregnancy to the family at Princess Eugenie's wedding in October 2018. During Meghan's labor, Harry used a laughing gas mask to stay calm. He also shared about Meghan's miscarriage in 2020 when they had to leave the hospital with their unborn child who was buried in a secret place under a jacaranda tree. The memoir also recounts the details of a confrontation between Harry and William at Nottingham Cottage in 2019. William came to resolve the tension between them and was said to have criticized Meghan as difficult, rude, and unpleasant. Harry denies these claims, calling them tabloid stories. During the argument, William was accused of grabbing Harry by the collar, breaking his necklace, and knocking him to the floor, where Harry hit a dog food bowl, causing minor injuries. Harry did not fight back, and William later regretted his actions and apologized. Harry immediately called a therapist, and Meghan was very upset when she found out. Harry revealed that his father, Charles, once questioned whether Meghan should continue acting due to limited finances. Charles supported the couple until they left the UK, but was also concerned that Meghan's fame might overshadow him. Harry also believed that Charles and Camilla were uncomfortable with the significant attention William and Kate received. Harry expressed surprise that the government-provided security for him was withdrawn after he stepped down from royal duties, while his uncle Prince Andrew retained his security despite facing serious allegations. Harry criticized the Sandringham summit, describing it as being manipulated by royal aides whom he referred to as bees, wasps, and flies, using deceitful tactics to consolidate power. Finally, Harry recounted the tense meeting with Charles and William following the funeral of Prince Philip in April 2021. Charles pleaded, "Please, boys, don't let my final years be miserable." Harry described William as his beloved older brother, but also his greatest rival. During a walk, William asked why Harry hadn't expressed his concerns earlier and suggested he should have raised his complaints with the Queen. Although William later told Harry that he loved him and only wanted him to be happy, Harry admitted that he didn't fully believe those words. The couple, Harry and Meghan, chose to make everything public in a revealing interview. The revelations related to Prince Harry continued to attract global attention, especially since his decision to step back from royal duties in 2020. Subsequent developments only added to the story's appeal. Although Harry and Meghan officially left their royal roles, they still could not escape the intense scrutiny of the media and the public. After the memoir was released, an interview revealed even deeper insights into the inner workings of the royal family. In the interview, Harry revealed details never disclosed in his book, particularly about the tense meeting with his brother William in 2021. He recalled the familiar furrowed brow on William's face, an expression he often saw whenever the two interacted, along with the noticeable changes in William's appearance, such as his increasingly severe hair loss and the gradual fading of features that resembled their mother. Harry emphasized that these comments were not meant to hurt, but rather to paint a more honest picture of their complex relationship, especially in the context of growing up under immense pressure. He stressed that the tension between them had existed long before Meghan came into the picture, dismissing the idea that she was the cause of the rift. The public once witnessed Harry and William growing up with the image of two close brothers. However, as Harry revealed, their lives took a completely different direction after their mother's death. Despite attending the same school, they were not as close as they appeared. William once asked Harry to pretend they didn't know each other at school, which deeply hurt Harry. Although both lost their mother, the two brothers faced the pain in very different ways. William tried to open up about their mother, but Harry, still very young at the time, didn't know how to express his emotions or face his grief. He didn't lack the desire, he just didn't know how to handle it. Princess Diana's funeral, watched by around 2.5 billion people worldwide, featured many immortal moments, with one of the most striking being the image of Harry and William walking behind their mother's coffin to Westminster Abbey. Harry recalled the profound silence, broken only by the sounds of hooves, rain wheels, and the gravel underfoot. It wasn't until the coffin was placed at the Spencer estate that Harry cried for the first time since his mother's death. As a teenager, Harry still struggled to accept the reality and wept over his mother's passing. He couldn't believe she had abandoned them, and even wondered if her death was part of a larger plan. For many years, Harry held on to the hope that his mother had simply disappeared temporarily and would one day return. Even after more than 2 decades, Princess Diana's legacy lives on, surpassing any royal title. She was not only a fashion icon and a devoted mother, but also a beacon of hope for the forgotten and marginalized in society. From holding the hands of AIDS patients during a time of global stigma to her campaigns against landmines, Diana set a new standard for compassion and social responsibility. She inspired women to live authentically, love boldly, and face pain with courage. If you're interested in the real stories behind the royal glamour, don't forget to like and share the video and leave your thoughts in the comments below to help spread the truth to more people. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for the latest videos about the lives, secrets, and hidden sides of the royal family. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next videos.